The excitement is starting to build here at the Hungary ring as the lights are about to go green for today's qualifying session. We expect some cars out on track any moment now.
Once again it's Mercedes on pole, but this time it was Nico Rosberg showing everyone how it's done by taking pole by just over 4/10 from Sebastian Vettel in second, and Daniel Ricciardo right behind Vettel in third. Massa would line up in fourth, outqualifying his teammate Bottas by 0.02 of a second. Both Williams were almost a second slower than both the Red Bulls, and 1.3 seconds off of the pole time set by Nico Rosberg. Button would line up sixth, with Lewis Hamilton right behind in seventh, and Hamilton with a lot of work to do in the race if he's to salvage something and maintain his points lead. With the news of there being a seat at Red Bull for next season, Vergne impresses by taking Torres's best qualifying of the year in 8th position, just out qualifying Fernando Alonso, and Magnussen is promoted up to 10th after Raikkonen's grid penalty. With the race to be in intermediate conditions as well, the start will be crucial for everyone, no more than this man Nico Rosberg. So can Rosberg take the win and take back some points in this championship? Let's find out. It's time for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hey guys, Tyro here, and join me for the 11th race of this F1 2014 season. All German front row and Lewis Hamilton down in 7th. And with how hard it is to overtake it at Hungary in the first place, and with the rain, how far can Lewis make it up the grid? And can he make it up the grid at all? And what can Raikkonen do from 14th after his 10th place grid penalty? Let's go out any second and we'll be underway. Nice out, and away they go. Rosberg looks to have got away cleanly at the start. So does Vettel. Everyone looks to have got away cleanly, in fact. Bottas now looking to the inside of both of the Red Bulls to take second into turn 1. Go 3 wide. Can Bottas hold it? Not quite. Vettel retains second, Ricciardo third, Bottas has to settle for 4th. Though coming to attack from his teammate Massa. Actually, that was Bottas overtaking Massa. Button remains ahead of Hamilton for the time being, so Hamilton's still down in 7th. Vergne 8th, Alonso 9th, Magnussen 10th, Hulkenberg 11th, Raikkonen 12th. We're making progress on his grid slot, with Bianchi and Kvyat going side by side further back. Can Kvyat hold it? They're both shoving each other off the track. Bianchi can hold it down the inside. Not quite. Kvyat keeps the position. Rosberg already pulling away out at front. And you think that's the Williams' best chance to get past the Red Bulls gone, given they're a second slower in qualifying to the Red Bulls? Raikkonen is still behind the Force India of Hulkenberg. Again, it's the straight line speed of the Force India that's really helping here, as not as much downforce on the Force India as the Ferrari, but as I say that, Raikkonen's going to look around the outside, is he, of Hulkenberg? Not quite, took back in for the time being. But Hulkenberg runs a bit wide. Hamilton's still looking for a way past Button. The longer it takes to get past Button and the Williams, the longer it's going to take him to get up and try and fight the Red Bulls. And you never know, maybe he's giving his teammate if Hamilton's got enough pace in the car. I mean, definitely more pace than he showed in qualifying, at least, anyway. So Raikkonen has now passed Hulkenberg and is now in pursuit of Kevin Magnussen for 10th position. Raikkonen and Hulkenberg, Raikkonen I guess as well, and Hulkenberg and Magnussen haven't really had the best of qualifying recently. The last race you can blame it on the gearbox penalties, but this race, Raikkonen should have been 4th without the 10th place penalty. Raikkonen all over the rear diffuser of that McLaren. Now going to look to the inside, is he? Yeah, can he make the move stick? Yes, he does. Raikkonen moves up into the points positions. And now he's got a teammate right in front of him, who's still looking for a way around John Verne. Rosberg already with a convincing lead ahead of both of the Red Bulls. And Bottas is just slowly falling into no man's land in 4th. Alonso's going to need to make the move quick past Verne before Raikkonen tries to make a move on Alonso. Alonso close enough this time going into turn 1? No, and Raikkonen has a little look at his teammate as well. Raikkonen's still behind those two for the time being. Once again, Magnussen's just slowly falling back. Alonso really needs to make the move on Verne quickly. Just considering the amount of pressure that Raikkonen is putting on Alonso, he must make a bit of contact there. But if Alonso can't get past Verne this time, you'd think there'd be team orders from Ferrari to let Raikkonen pass, as he doesn't look like the quicker Ferrari at currently. And Ferrari need all the points they can get in the constructors, seeing both Williams and both Red Bulls are ahead. But to say that, Alonso tries to make a move into turn 1 on Verne and makes it stick. Now can Raikkonen get past Verne as well? Bit of contact, but Raikkonen makes the move. Both Ferraris are passed in the space of 2 corners. Then Raikkonen just goes exploring. But now that they're freed from the Toro Rosso, can they catch up to Button and possibly overtake Hamilton? Rosberg isn't pulling too much of a lead, but it's enough to slowly pull him away from the 2 Red Bulls of Vettel and Ricciardo, who have been extremely evenly matched in the past few qualifying sessions. Hamilton's still stuck behind that McLaren. You see in the background of Ferraris is reeling them in. I think what's keeping Button ahead of Hamilton is Massa's slipstream. Now Massa is able to pull away slightly in the corners, which is keeping him enough of a lead to stay ahead of Hamilton and Button, and giving Button enough of a slipstream to stay ahead of Hamilton. See, the Williams has that slight bit more downforce through the corners, which is giving him enough of a lead to maintain the gap to Button. But what's not maintaining is the gap behind to both of the Ferraris, as they're significantly catching up. Van's just dropping off the pace now, but he's still in points position. Reckon still doesn't make a move on Alonso. Hamilton still hasn't made a move on Button. Coming up to the pit stop window. So drivers should be in between end of this lap and lap 9 or 10. Now is Hamilton going to try and undercut Button and Massa in the pit stops to try and get past, because it doesn't look like there's any other way that he's going to get past. Now both the Ferraris are right on the back of this queue. The Raikkonen does look to have dropped back a bit on this lap. Once again Hamilton closes, but doesn't try anything into turn 1. So now Alonso's cut up, is Alonso going to try anything? No changes up front. So Raikkonen's coming into the pits, is he? Yep. So Raikkonen's going to be the first driver to go into the pits. Possibly looking for an undercut on the 4 cars ahead of him. Now he should be going onto the intermediate tyres again. Don't see why he'd go onto anything else. Comes out and rejoins in clear air at least, so now he's got just about in clear air, just ahead of Bianchi and Grosjean. So now Raikkonen's going to need to push this lap if he wants to make a move on these 4 cars. But Hamilton has now got past Jenson Button, which is what he needed to do about 6 laps earlier. You need to see how much Button is dropping back now that Hamilton's got past. So Massa, Hamilton, Button all come to the pits and Alonso doesn't. So now can Hamilton jump Massa in the stops? Hamilton going to another set of inters. So does Button. But Massa's been held, and Hamilton has got past, and so has Button in fact. Button's got ahead of Massa, and Hamilton's got ahead of Massa as well. So Massa's lost 2 positions in a pit stop. And Raikkonen's come out ahead of Button and Massa as well. And now can he take Hamilton while his tyres are still cold? He has to do it soon or Hamilton's just going to pull away into the distance and try and catch the next car's ahead, which should be Valtteri Bottas, who is in a net 4th position. Now the race leader, Nico Rosberg, comes into the pit. Mercedes usually do it where the lead driver stops first, but Hamilton is so far behind that it won't make a difference to Rosberg's race, bringing him in first. Now in come Bottas and Alonso as well. Here comes Vettel to retake 2nd place. Bottas is going to come out in 4th. Now where's Alonso going to come out? He's come up behind Hamilton and he's going to come up behind Raikkonen. And he's come out just behind Jenson Button as well. So Button has got the undercut. But Massa's lost 4 positions, all because of 1 pit stop. Something Williams are going to have to take into consideration for future races is 1 slow pit stop has cost one of their drivers 4 positions. When you're in a tight constructors fight for 2nd place with Red Bull, losing 4 positions is not what you need, especially when the Red Bulls are running 2-3. So now Hamilton's freed up to go and catch Valtteri Bottas. Vettel with the 1 lap undercut does look a bit closer to Nico Rosberg. Can he in fact reel him in and try and make an overtake? Now Alonso would now still have to make the overtake on Jenson Button. I don't see why Ferrari didn't bring Alonso in the lap after Raikkonen, seeming they could have easily done that and probably would have jumped, almost certainly would have jumped Button in the pit stops. Now the Button doesn't have the slipstream of Massa, this should make Button a bit easier to try and overtake in a straight line. Red Bull's final major upgrades of the year definitely seem to be working here. As last time it was a wet qualifying, Mercedes locked the front row by over a second, and this time Rosberg was only 4/10 faster than Vettel and Ricciardo. Granted, it's a completely different track, and different, like, Germany's more of its power track, and this is more of a technical track. But still, Red Bull's last upgrades closed the gap by 6/10, on this track at least anyway. But still, it's not enough to get them ahead of Mercedes. Bottas soon going to be coming under threat from Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to see how much Raikkonen is pulling away into the distance. Now that he's got a pass button. Vern's still holding the final points place in 10th. And Hulkenberg's now got past Magnussen. The Red Bulls are definitely there, but I don't think they're there enough to try and challenge Rosberg. Now Hamilton's right on the back of Bottas, but still doesn't make a move, probably too far back this time. Button's still holding off Alonso and Massa for the time being. This has got to be the best defensive drive from anyone all season long. First of all, to keep the Mercedes behind, now to keep Alonso and Massa behind. And talking of keeping Mercedes behind, that's something Bottas is going to have to try and do now, if he wants to keep his 4th position. Now if Hamilton and Bottas start battling, then there's potential that Raikkonen could catch and try and overtake them and take 4th position himself. Very unlikely, but until they cross the finish line, anything can happen. This Button is still ahead of Alonso. Once again, the straight line speed of that Williams is rather saving Valtteri Bottas from being overtaken. Raikkonen is not really making enough of an impression to try and catch the two ahead. So like Rosberg Raikkonen is going to take 6th position unless he gets a move on to try and catch the two ahead. Now is Alonso close enough to make the move this time? Not quite. Raikkonen really isn't catching the two head, in fact. Now Rosberg rounds the final corner to start what should be the final lap of the race. And has a 2-3 second lead back to Vettel and Ricciardo in third. Bottas is taking the pressure well and staying in fourth. Just ahead of Lewis Hamilton with Raikkonen not too far behind in sixth. Button still holding on to seventh. This is probably going to be Alonso's last chance to try and make the move into turn 1, if he's going to make any move at all. No, Alonso still does not make the move. Hamilton's still looking for a way around Bottas, but just isn't trying anything, probably thinking about the championship at this stage. You've got enough of a lead in the championship, it's not really worth the risk of a dive bomb to try and take an extra 2 points. As now Rosberg is actually now on the final lap, so apologies for it before, this is the actual final lap of the race. It's probably Hamilton's last chance to try and make a move. And no, it sticks behind. Now, Alonso looks to be closing. He's trying to make a move in the first corner. Yes, he does. So, on the final lap of the race, has Alonso taken 7th position? Yes, he has. And now can Massa try and take 8th from Button? Thinks about it, but can't make the move. Raikkonen's just going up to the better markers, but doesn't really matter seeing it's the last lap of the race. So now Rosberg's going to round the final corner to win the 2014 Hungarian Grand Prix. Vettel's going to take 2nd, Ricciardo 3rd, Bottas, if he can hold on, will take 4th. He does, Hamilton will be 5th, Raikkonen 6th, Alonso 7th, Button 8th, Massa 9th and Verne 10th. You can see there, Rosberg won. Top Verne just holding on. Well, just holding on, has a 5-second lead back to Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg 11th, Magnussen 12th, Perez, Kvyat, Grosjean, Bianchi, Sutil, Kobayashi, Gutierrez, Chilton. Ericsson getting lapped on the line, and Maldonado did not finish this race. That's been the Hungarian Grand Prix. Not a lot of action, well, not a lot of overtakes, plenty of defending, especially from Jenson Button, and still how much Hamilton struggled to get through the other top teams. Just like that Mercedes isn't designed to work in dirty air, as they were. I expect they're expected to be at the front pretty much every race. It's something that Mercedes would have to take into consideration for their 2015 car, maybe adding a little element that make it work slightly better in dirty air, given anything happens in Formula 1. And you know the saying, it usually does. And with the news of the last race that there's a seat open at Red Bull for one of the Toro Rosso drivers, with how things are going, you'd think that Vern would be the one replacing whoever's leaving the team for 2015. That's been the Hungarian Grand Prix. Again, not the most action-packed of races, but still, there's been worse. So remember to like, subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.